Welcome to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Katerina Kormas, mindset and confidence coach for fabulous women just like you. I'm here to help you attract in more of what you desire in life and business. More wealth, more joy, success, confidence, soulmate clients, and all the abundance you can imagine. This podcast is all about your evolution to becoming the woman that has all she desires. This is where you become untethered from the fears and the doubts and the limiting beliefs holding you back right now, and instead embodying the mindset, beliefs, thoughts, and actions that will bring you to your next level goals, dreams, and success. If you're ready to step into your next level confidence and fearlessly create the life and business of your dreams, then you're exactly where you're meant to be. This is where you get your weekly dose of paradigm and mindset shifting insights that will help you change the way you see yourself and all you're capable of manifesting in your life and business. So if you're ready to get started, let's begin. Excited to interview Breanna Bortner. Is that right? Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay. A fabulous online business manager who's also all-knowing about launches and all the systems and back-end stuff that stresses us all out. And you're here today to tell us not to stress and to help us debunk all the myths and really kind of get through all the overwhelm and the fear around launching and all that goes into that. I think I was thinking before this call, it's like, wow, there were years launching was never a thing. And then it became a thing. And then we have to be so scared of kind of thing.
Yeah. Launching has definitely evolved over the years, and it will continue to evolve. And so it's one of those things that when we have a new offer or a new service that we want to get out into the world, we have to come to this place where we have a format of launching that works for us, that isn't intimidating, and that doesn't stop us from trying new things in our business. And I think really at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. You don't need to do a traditional launch, whatever that may be. I put it in air quotes because I don't even know what that is. But you need to find a format of launching that works for you to share your message. And so I think there's some, practical things that we can talk about today, and so also some very common things in the industry that we can debunk to help people kind of take that next step, especially going into the new year with their business.
Yeah, I think you hit it like right on the head with like, you have to do it your way. Like you have to find the way that works for you. And I know there's a lot of people out there that specifically teach launching, but for me, I look at those as like, that's a toolbox of ways you can do it, but you have to find the way that's going to feel easeful and not scary and allows you to flow and allows your gifts and talents to show up and do its thing naturally, as opposed to trying to fit everything into a specific box that just might make it feel harder.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why when I work with people, I generally work with people one-on-one for launches. I don't have a standard journey that we go through. Of course, there are certain things that need to be done, but they can be done in different ways and in different timelines as well, depending on the person, depending on their comfortability with certain things. Do you like to show up on video? Are you more of an email person? Is YouTube your thing? And I really work with everyone to create like a custom launch plan versus, having this one option fits all and just, copy paste for all of these different people. So keeping that in mind as well is important, because if you are working with someone or if you're learning from someone who is making you feel like you need to do things a certain way and you're finding that you're not doing them, which is usually the state that a lot of people come to me at, it's like, I really want to do this, but I'm not doing it. And I don't know why. And it's like, well, you're not excited about how you're doing it. And you need to be excited about how you're doing it. Otherwise, it's just going to be this vicious circle of like, I know I need to be doing this. I should be doing this. I want to be doing this, but I don't know how. And that's not really fair to us or our audience or our offers either.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to show up and be super pumped about the way that you're delivering it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of people get scared that there's a specific how, there's a specific right way to do it. And if I'm not doing it that way, then it's not going to work. But then that's paralyzing, because then it's like, well, I don't know how to do it. That's hard. So then I'm not showing up, and I'm not selling, and I'm not doing the thing, and I'm not launching anything, and I'm not helping anybody. So it's like there's two different, like you're feeling the resistance right away to this idea that there's a specific way to do something.
Yeah. And there's nothing I love greater than working with someone who said, so-and-so told me I have to be doing this. And I am like, well, are you? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, okay, well, then we're not going to do that. Clearly
it's that simple.
It hasn't got us very far to date. So I love being able to, work with someone who's been intimidated or who's fearful, uncertain of what the future holds, and make the journey really their own. So yeah, I think it would be fun to get into a few different like myths and things that make people super scared about launching. Because I think debunking these and like hearing it repetitively will also allow others to understand that this is completely absurd and get this out of your mindset.
Yes. Let's debunk some myths. Let's get rid of them.
Okay, perfect. Well, myth number 1, that all launches need to be for big offers with big dollar amounts. And I want to say, absolutely not. Like, you can launch something that is $45. You could sell a template for $45. So I think when people think of launching, they think of, multi-figure launches for these really expensive services or products, building websites. They think really big, but they don't also think that, hey, I could just start selling strategy calls that are 60 minutes. And that is a very easy, entry point if you want to start launching, but you're not really ready. People are saying, you need a course, you need a program. Absolutely not true. How about we test the waters with launching and we sell a 1-day offer, or we sell a 90-minute intensive. Those are both great ways to kind of dip your toes into the launch space and feel a little less intimidated versus selling, a $5,000 service.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we hear a lot about these big launches, like, oh, I had 500 people join my blah, blah, blah course. And then we think that they have to be this like grand thing, which then makes it feel so complicated. And so, a lot of people, especially in the early years of business, aren't ready for big launches, even though they love the dream of a big launch. Until you get comfortable doing a launch, it's kind of better to start with a little thing that you feel comfortable sharing and talking about, and it feels kind of easy to talk about and put that out into the world, and then you grow into the big thing. But yeah, I love that's a good myth to debunk.
Yeah, exactly. And it should feel very natural, right? So I think that's something to keep in mind, is that you could host a 1-hour masterclass if you would like, and then at the end give a discount for anyone who joined, and they could book an intensive with you or book a 1-hour session with you, get 2 weeks of Voxer coaching with you. Very simple things to start launching with. And then as you build upon that, you are building your own launch plan. So that's just a great place to start.
Yeah, that's a good point though. When you have to start somewhere, and when you start, you're starting to build a foundation for the next one. You're putting the pieces in place so the next one gets easier and easier.
Exactly. You're deciding like what systems worked well, which ones maybe didn't serve you. You're building collateral and launch assets, which is a huge thing that people get nervous about. I would say, one of the main things that people come to me concerned about is that they don't have any promotional materials. They don't have emails or copy written for their launch. And without those pieces, they feel like there's no connection to their audience, which is absolutely true. So as you build these assets over time, you have a library or a bank of copywriting, of graphics, of processes that you can refer back to for your next launch. And
yes, repurpose. I noticed some really big players in the entrepreneurial world, like the course creators and things like that. I'm on their email list. So I see every time they relaunch that thing later in the year or the year, like it's the same emails, maybe slightly tweaked, slightly updated. And it's like, nope, I remember this email. I remember the story she told. She's reusing her, and it's fine, right? It still has the same impact. I'm not judging her for it. I think like, oh, I needed that reminder. But they don't reinvent the wheel every time they go out and launch the same product or service.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That is a wonderful reminder that you don't have to create something from scratch in order to share it with people. And a lot of the time people don't notice. So that is also, you are obviously, very keen with your email inbox, but a lot of the time people are in their own worlds. So.
Yeah. So what other myths can we debunk?
You need to have your offer 100% ready before you can talk about it or sell it.
Yes, this was this is my belief. This is what hung me up the first few years in business. I got to have the whole thing created and everything has to be perfect before I go out there and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's something that stops people from launching, right? Like, oh, well, I have to have all 127 units of my course ready to go. And it's like, no, you need a good baseline so that your students or course enrollees have something to, dig their teeth into once they join your course. But you do not need the 12 months worth of content that you've committed to. It's almost more exciting that there's stuff that's still being developed that will drop in the future, or maybe you're going to get their feedback, and their feedback will impact what sort of lessons or content is dropped in the future. So you can really play off of that so that you don't need to have all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted. And you can just go for it. And there's other offers, like I mentioned, that 90-minute intensive, or the Voxer coaching. Those are some offers that you don't necessarily need to build anything extra, because people are just wanting to converse with you and leverage your expertise. So those are some great offers that you can put out into the world fairly quickly, because there's nothing really new that you need to develop as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I did a fun fact. A couple of years ago, I created a course, fantastic course, but I spent all my time creating it and not selling it. I actually never sold it. I've taken the course myself like 3 times. I think I did a group coaching group around it. But yeah, it took me so long, and I put my heart and soul into it. By the time I was done, I was so exhausted that I never sold it.
Oh my gosh.
I was so burnt out.
See, people need to share stuff like this more, to show like, hey, like I thought the prize was the course, when really it was like, it should have been me having the energy to show up to talk about the course. That really, that would be the cherry on top. So yeah, it's kind of reconstructing the way that you think about your priorities. Yeah.
Well, and course creation or program creation takes a lot of energy out of you. And I think if I would have sold it along with creating it, I would have had the energy of the people signing up for it to kind of bounce off that energy. But instead, I had all this space to judge it. Oh, it's not good enough. Oh, I don't even know how to talk about it. Oh, what if this isn't what they need? And by the time I finished the course, I had talked myself out of actually selling it. So, if you're excited about an idea, start to sell it, start to talk about it, start to create the momentum around it, so that you're getting excited, you stay excited. People might be asking you questions that then you can add to your program or give you ideas for more things. And make it, people like to have that collaborative engagement. Like, it's not just that they're buying a course, it's that it was developed for them, right? Or the coaching program was developed because of them. It's kind of a great opportunity to do both at the same time.
Right. Great opportunity not to, shut yourself in and to open the doors, and show really the behind the scenes of like what's been on your heart and what you've been working on. That exactly like you mentioned helps to build hype around your offer, and it'll have people asking you, when can I buy this before it's even available?
Yeah.
And then at that point, you could offer, some pre-sales or have a wait list start to grow. So there's some ways that you can leverage that interest before it's actually, ready to be sold, or at least, up to your pleasing as far as completion. So that is a great reminder, and I appreciate you sharing that story, because we need to hear those sort of things more, because all we see is the flashy launch experiences. But really what I resonate with, and the posts that I read and the stories that I watch, are the ones about people being real about the things that they maybe got wrong or that they saw in the wrong light when it came to launching. So I think that is something that there needs to be more of in the launch spaces, talking about our failures or things that didn't go as planned.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I always thought it had to be perfect, but now I'm like, oh, I'm not perfect, y'all. I didn't heed any of these tips when I first started out.
Love it. So yeah, that actually kind of leads into one of my next myths, is that you can only have one beta launch. And this is actually something that happened directly with me and one of my clients. I was actually out to brunch with one of my clients, and I had helped her with her first launch. And the second one was coming up, and she goes, well, I've already had my beta launch, so this one has to be perfect. And yeah, doesn't that just like take your breath away? It's like, no. Every launch is a beta launch.
Yeah.
You're always finding out new things. You're always learning. There's new industry trends that are coming out. You are finding innovative new ways to connect with your audience. So just because you've done a beta launch and you've maybe sold it at a lower price point doesn't mean that your next launch needs to be it. Because a launch is a living and breathing thing that evolves over time, and it's not something that is set in stone. And that's the beauty of it. So I want people to get out of that mindset that, okay, you've had your test run, you've worked out all the kinks, and now the next one's going to be perfect, because that's not how it goes. And there's always going to be variables such as technology, people, the time of year, many other things that are outside of our control that are going to impact the end result.
Yeah. I think it's another thing people don't share as often. It's like they had a great launch. Somebody did this recently. She makes millions of dollars in her business, and she actually admitted, I have launches where I'm launching the same thing I've launched before and nobody buys it. Where it was successful before, and then I launch it again and nobody buys. And she's like, it's just part of the cycle and ebb and flow of being a business owner. Again, we think that we don't realize there's so many variables, right? Who's watching, who's not watching, time of year, as you said. There's so many different things. And we're evolving. So I know every time I launch something and I'm excited about it, but it's great, and I get people into the program, and we're going and we're doing the thing, but then I'm learning and growing as I go. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it this way anymore. I don't want. Maybe I had the wrong people in the group, I was talking to the wrong avatar, ideal client. But we learn and grow. And then if we think it has to be perfect, that doesn't give us space to decide what we didn't like and what we like, to really analyze it, being like, you know what, I don't want to do the launch like that at all anymore. I don't want to host this live anymore. I don't want to do these things anymore. It doesn't give us a space to, check in with ourselves as we've evolved.
Right, exactly. And if you're not open to trying new things, you get kind of stuck in that path and stuck in that way. And that's not always the best, especially as your audience evolves as well. So yeah, today we both, we've decided to do a live together, and that's something that we've committed to. We've done it before. We know generally, how it's going to be. So it's a very safe bet for us. But I feel like both you and I, at one point, we would if this was no longer working, or if we no longer enjoyed this, we would be thankful for, this space, but we would also explore other alternatives in order to connect with people.
Yeah.
So I think, just today is an example of two people showing up and trying something. And if we don't do this again, that's okay too. But I think that's just part of testing the waters and, making tweaks to make your launch the most authentic that it can be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my computer fell asleep here, but let's see what else I had on the list. I love debunking these myths. One thing that you and I talked about was energy as it goes in, like as it relates to your launch. So one thing that is a huge myth is that your launch week is like the Mecca. It's like you will never work as hard or as long or, be as passionate about anything else outside of your launch week. And I want to come on here and say that is the farthest thing from the truth. And that I would actually say in reverse, your launch week should be the week that you actually work the least amount of time because you've cleared your schedule to only work on high priority things so that you can show up and be authentic and connect with your audience. So I would say that a launch week compared to any other week should look like a freaking vacation if it's set up right. Because you shouldn't be scrambling around at the last minute to do things. You shouldn't be creating things still. Everything should be ready and your systems should be pushing things out as need be. And your job launch week is to show up and to just be.
Yeah. And I think it's safe to say that it gets easier as you learn to launch too, like you might not have all the things done the first time around, you could do it imperfectly and just leave space. But I think as you start to repurpose things, it gets easier and easier and it could create that space in the time frame that you're launching.
Exactly. And as you evolve, you'll know what sort of systems you can really rely on and can help be your partners. As you evolve, you likely will want to start outsourcing things such as launching so you can have more accountability, more support on the back end, and you don't have to worry about, those finer details as well. So there are things to look forward to in the launch space as you continue to grow. But for those beginners, those people who've just started a business, those people who are maybe have been doing one-to-one offers for years and are just starting to, open the doors for more clients to do programs and courses and intensives with them. Just know that, with each launch, the ease will come and you should get to a place where your launch is restful and it's a space and time for you to actually just like be you. Because, one of the things that happens is people get so stressed leading up to their launch and once launch week hits, they're already
exhausted.
They're exhausted. They're burnout. And so how do you show up when you're burnt out? Well, you're not even acting as your truest and highest self at that point. And that means that you're not being able to, connect with people. That's like going out on a date with someone after you worked 16 hours. Do you think that you'd show up the same way to meet a guy at a restaurant versus you having a good night's sleep and like getting a run in the morning and like eating your fruits and vegetables and then showing up to meet someone? Can you imagine how different that interaction is going to be? And that's the same for launching. Like if you are really trying to show up and see who's a match for you and like who is drawn to your energy, you have to show up as yourself. And you can't do that when you are like just gasping for air and just trying to make it through the week. So that is a story I've seen all too many times. And I love to help people. I love to help people not be in that place.
Yeah, I know what that's like. You know, you're excited about it. You're excited about the program you're putting out there. You're excited about you show up, you show up, show up, you do the thing, you do the thing, you do the thing, and then you're like, gosh, I'm tired. I don't want I don't want to show up anymore. And all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, now I have to deliver the thing. And I've countless times I've stopped launches in the middle because I was so exhausted, where I just didn't prep, not just prep enough, but got in my head too much, maybe put a little bit too much on my plate to show up, that in the middle and a part of it was like, I don't feel it anymore, I don't want to, do it. But part of it was I didn't have all the systems ahead of time in place, and I was doing too much, giving too much, and then I just burnt out, and I was like, this isn't even fun anymore. But I've noticed one of the key things was just, was a mindset switch around, there's different pieces of your energy, right? Part of it is the systems of launching and all of that, but part of it is like you're fueled by your mind. And a lot of times there's also an underlying message happening of like, it's not working. I have to work harder. It's not working. It's, this, I have to tweak. I have to try something new because it's not, nobody's showing up. And then like you're in the lack mindset, and that kind of steals all the energy and the momentum from it. And then delivering on it is kind of hard in that mindset.
I can definitely relate. Yeah, it's not fun to launch something when you're speaking to crickets, right? Mm-hmm. Like, look, I'm so excited about this, and you're just sharing it with the world, and then you're just not getting that reciprocation. And yeah, that's not very fun. I think of if you've ever cooked something for hours and hours, like
and you don't want to eat it after because you're tired.
Like, I have seen every ingredient. I have chopped every onion. I've smelt it for hours, and then it becomes less appetizing, right? That's exactly what a launch can be if you don't have the right support in place. Like, truly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great analogy.
Yes. Yeah. That actually happened to me a few weeks ago. I made a white chicken chili, and I had a huge housewarming party, and I didn't touch it till the next day. And I warmed it up, and I was like, okay, this is really good, but I really didn't want it yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I've been standing over this chili pot for hours. So
it's fun while you're doing it, but then you use up all your energy, and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'll eat the things that other people brought to the potluck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so when we talk about kind of the energy for the launch week, instead of just being hyper focused on the launch itself, there's a lot of other mindset and self-care things that can help diminish overwhelm. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if all you're thinking about when you're brushing your teeth in the morning or when you're making your meals is your launch, you're going to get that sour taste in your mouth because this launch has consumed your life. So I know you and I were talking about, what type of ways can we get out of this launch, this heavy launch, masculine energy, and kind of tap more back into our intuitive self. So things
the trusting and the receiving, the leaning back and allowing all the work and the energy you've put out there to actually work for you while you receive. I think there's a launching is a beautiful energy, as you said, like a masculine energy of giving and receiving. So you're giving all this information, you're going out there and connecting to the world, and then you have to lean back and let the universe give, let you receive the fruits of your labor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So just kind of sitting with that, journaling about how you're feeling about the launch, journaling about why you started this in the first place, journaling about why you've continued, why have you continued on with this launch for so long? What is it about it? Journaling about what the world looks like with and without your offer, right? How does this offer change the world? Why are we showing up? Why are we sharing this with so many people? Really getting us back to our why is a great way to ground ourselves during such a out of body experience in such a time where we're doing, more difficult things and where we're out of our comfort zone for a majority of the time.
And where we're judging or comparing like where we are right now to the result we want, we're in that like that comparison mode every moment of, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet?
Yeah. And it's, it's great to envision what you have in store for this launch, right? Like, do you have a number? Like there's going to be, 7 amazing women who are going to come to me needing help with their hormones. If you were a health coach, I'm envisioning, a partnership that, it takes my business to the next level. What is it that you really do envision? Do some breath work, do some meditation, get in those thoughts. Cause I think it is absolutely beautiful to put yourself into the future, as if you're already operating, with this offer in your life. So if you can do that sort of work, and, slowly incorporate this offer and weave it into your day-to-day, see yourself walking through the steps of helping your client through a 6-step program, that can really help you to get excited about what's in store for the future. And I think it can also just, it's an opportunity to connect with your higher self about what's really going on behind the scenes here.
Yeah, it's doing both connecting to your higher self, but also regulating your nervous system when you do the visualization work, because there's a level of fear it's not going to work out, but the fear it's going to work out. And fear, what does it feel like when the money comes in? What does it feel like when you're onboarding these clients? What does it feel like? How excited are you? I think, especially launching can bring up the fight or flight nervous system reaction. And you can't really receive from fight or flight, because your fight or flight is running away. And fight or flight is, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work out? Oh my gosh, I'm at risk. I'm in this discomfort. I'm in this uncomfortable place. I'm not safe in this. I'm not safe in this. So come find a place. The safety is in the why. The safety is in, trusting yourself. The safety is in the vision of it actually happening. It's kind of creating the safety net when you can visualize it, and you visualize it and you're okay with it, and your nervous system's okay with it, and it's prepared. It sees a way that this can work. Yeah. It's powerful work. And
if you're thinking it's not going to work, your mind is going to be telling yourself all the ways that it's not going to work. Your mind is out looking for ways to validate exactly what you're thinking. So if you seek out ways, that it is going to work, that changes the narrative for your mind and opens the doors for other beautiful things in your launch. So I think it's looking at it as an evolution, right? Even if nobody signs up for it, but one person, and we had one new follower, one new person on your email list, you got a little bit more comfortable with launching. You got more comfortable with talking about your offer, right? Like that's the evolution. So now you're the person that launches it. Now that you're the person that has more people gravitating towards you. Great. You're going to launch it again, right? But if you and then you'll become the person that people buy from the next time, right? You just have to if you see it as an evolution and use that journaling and that reflection time and that time of receiving to constantly focus on how it's working, how you're becoming more comfortable, how you're doing stuff you've never done before, then you start to see the progress towards it. And it kind of shifts that mindset. And that's what people are gravitated towards, right? They're gravitated towards look at her energy. She has so much confidence. Because when you're looking at it from the next level you version that already has the thing, you're more confident, and people are gravitating towards confidence. They don't gravitate towards, I'm going to show up, but I really need these people to validate that I'm good at this. I really need these people to sign up or I'm a failure. It's kind of like a relationship, right? Like if you're in that energy and you're like, I got to show up more. I got to post more. I got to post more. It's like that needy relationship of being like, please come and I need to see you again. I need to see you again. I need to see you. You don't want to be in a relationship with a person like that, and the people that you're trying to stage 5 clinger.
Yes, a stage 5 clinger. You want to be the one that trusts and is open to receiving and is grateful for whatever comes. And then people are attracted to that.
that energy. And we don't realize we're putting out that energy, but it's because we can't see it, but it's there in every post and every video and every podcast and everything, every email you put out there. It's either desperate energy or it's a, I'm here to help you energy.
Yes, exactly. And, as we're, kind of talking about attracting people, no matter what in your launch, you're either going to have a great launch where people buy from you or join or register, whatever the goal is for conversion, or you're going to learn. That's literally the only two options, unless you just like stop flat out. Then I would say you still learn though, because you learned that what you were doing wasn't sustainable, or it wasn't exciting, or, you needed more time. So I would say no matter what, you're either launching or you're learning. Those are the only two options. And I think when you come to peace with that, you're able to be excited about the outcome no matter what. And I think that is something really cool, but something that we also need to remind ourselves of when we're deep in that launch process.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Launching or learning. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. Two positives, no matter what.
Two positives. Yeah. You can never fail. You can pivot. You can tweak. Try again. You don't ever fail.
Yes, absolutely. And you just don't, at the end of the day, I just think you don't want to fail yourself. And launching is a lot of that, because it is, for most people, it's a very solo type process in their business, especially when they're first starting out. As you grow, there's obviously large entrepreneurs in this online business space who have massive teams that help support them and sustain their growth. But
and don't compare yourself to those launches, because you cannot do all those things that like that on your own.
Because it is you that is showing up. It's you that's posting everything. It's you that's creating everything. It is a very like self-centric sort of business process that we see in this online space. So at the end of the day, I think we have to be true to ourselves and not let ourselves down. And I think if we can commit to doing things that we know are sustainable to us, I mean, my gosh, if you post one time a week now and you're like, well, I'm going to post every day for 31 days, that doesn't seem very sustainable going into it. And then at that point, when you start slipping and letting yourself down, it just becomes a spiral. So if you can be doing those little things each week to prepare for your launch, I think you start to build trust, and you build bridges with yourself to be like, I'm going to do this. Okay, I did it. Look, mind and body, we are working together at this, and you're not constantly fighting yourself. I think that's a great place to start, is just to build trust with yourself in this launch space. And then, from there, you can build trust in other people to help support you. But the first thing is that you need to trust yourself that you're going to do these things that are a little uncomfortable, and try new things. And that opens the door for new and fresh and opportunity versus staying with the same old, same old.
Yeah. I think that's great advice. Perfect advice. Absolutely. Oh, this is such a great conversation. I feel less stressed about launching now.
I know. I'm like, what am I going to launch next?
Let's do it. It does kind of get fun because you get to, as you do things more, and I think like launching, it doesn't have to be so formal, right? Like, because as business owners, we're always selling. And it's just like we go through phases of launching this thing, then launching this thing, and maybe we don't launch for a little bit. But it's just getting to figure out, like, my thing right now is my podcast, it's my posts, it's my Instagram stories. I used my old thing that I had the space for, was I'd go live every Monday in my Facebook group, and like it evolves. But you get more comfortable showing up. And that's the biggest, I think, the biggest fear is the visibility that goes into launching, because you're so vulnerable when you're selling. And I don't think of it as selling. I think like, here's an opportunity for you to take to expand and to grow and to get help. And, like you just kind of find your footing. And I think it's the whole process of being an entrepreneur. And when you can just focus on what you feel good doing and then make that the biggest piece of your launch plan. Like if you love showing up live, I love to do videos. Great, make that the biggest piece of your launch plan, right? You don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I'm launching, so that means I have to do everything. No, some people only launch their programs. They might have an email list of thousands, but they only launch on Instagram, right? Or they're just launching to their email list on some things, right? Or they do mostly on their email list and just dabble in Instagram or Facebook. And so I think it's just when you find your voice and you figure out what you feel is good for, it makes launching so much easier because you can trust yourself to just show up in the ways that feel good.
Yes. Yep. I think the moral of the story is that in order to break free of overwhelm and fear, there's a lot of things that go into it. There's a physical aspect of planning ahead and using the right systems. But there's also a big mindset component of launching as well that can help people, really, really visualize their why and continue to be excited about their offer even after they've planned it for months. And so kind of marrying those two together, the physical and the mental or mindset components really help deliver the best launch that you can. And then using that as a jumping board for future launches. So don't think that you need to sell high dollar products. Don't think that you need to, have everything ready before you start talking or sharing or getting excited about something. Absolutely, don't feel like if you've launched in the past that your next one needs to be the one, that it needs to be perfect. Do believe in yourself and build trust in the things that you're doing that are sustainable, that are authentic to you. And I think that the launch results will come.
Yeah. Perfect. I loved all those tips.
And as we mentioned, you either launch or you learn. So there's two options. And so just know that either way you're going to walk away with something.
Right. You are evolving into the person that launches become easier for, and you learn different things about what you like and what you don't like. It's just an evolution to the person you desire to be, to the result you desire to have. And it's not always, I try once and I get there. A lot of times it's you try, do, be that person. And then the result happens. So be in the moment, kind of enjoy it too. I think that's a great piece too to end on is enjoy it, right? This is your business that you've dreamed about having. These are the clients you dream about working with. So be in the moment. This is your launching is just you sharing more of how you can help people and make an impact. And so enjoy it. You want to enjoy your business. You don't want to just enjoy the end result because there never is really just the end result is so fleeting till the next thing you desire. So just kind of enjoy it and have fun with it and, do the things that light you up, and the results kind of come from that energy.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Be grateful that you get to do this for yourself and that you're not having to do it any particular way based on any, set in stone guidelines. You're able to kind of create and shift and tweak and improvise wherever and whenever you want. So that is something that is, who could ask for more in a career or a business? That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Well, thank you. Thank you for your wisdom and all your knowledge and helping us kind of feel easeful around launching and all the fun stuff.
Yes, definitely. And before I jumped off, just wanted to quickly share something that I've created in the last few months for people. Everything that we've just described, someone who is launching solo, someone who's really scared to put themselves out there, someone who's worried about the how and the why behind their launch. I've created something. It is a one-day launch experience called a VIP launch kit. and it's a completely done for you service to help you prepare for your launch. So if you can envision starting the day kind of with that fear and overwhelm that you haven't developed the things that you would like as far as the launch assets, and then ending the day with everything that you need to feel excited, to feel empowered, and to be ready to start sharing the message with your audience. So we're talking social media graphics, we're talking copy for emails, we're talking workbooks for your live event, we're talking all of those tangible things that you can take and use for this launch and adapt for future launches. So it's something that I've created because so many women come to me nervous that they don't know how to speak to their audience, that they don't know how to capture their offer in the right light. And so I've developed this one-day offer, which is a VIP launch kit that really helps guide you throughout the launch process so that you don't need to do things alone, and so that you can start building what I call a launch library that's filled with all of the assets that you need in order to propel forward with your future offers. So that's something that is currently available. I do have a few special offers just because it is Black Friday. So for anyone listening, if you are interested in the VIP launch kit, I am offering $500 off. So if you want to send me a message or an email, I can get you that code as a thank you for listening to our conversation. And then if you're listening to this conversation after Black Friday, because you are a podcast listener, send me a message with the word podcast. And I also will send you a little special discount for following along our conversation today. Fantastic. So that is the VIP launch kit.
You created like the dream kit for all entrepreneurs to take all the overwhelm out. That's amazing. All in a day. That's fantastic.
Yes, I know. The day piece was really important to me because I didn't want it being the fear and the overwhelm and the uncertainty to drag on any longer than it needs to be. I have worked with women in the launch space for over 2 years now. And I've kind of accumulated everything that they've come to me with, concerns, mindset issues, gaps in their launch plans, and have thrown it into a one-day experience that is completely customized for you and your particular launch and offer. And I am just so excited to be able to help people in this capacity because I know that it's filling a need for women who are launching and don't have the support and accountability that they desire. So this is what I've created as a result of, trial and error and really listening to the concerns of female entrepreneurs who are doing this process often and who need that extra support.
Yeah, you kind of get the solo struggle of you get the desire to have all those pieces and wanting to have it and incorporate like all that stress into, I got to create all the graphics, I got to write all the emails, I got to do all the things, and I have to go schedule them out and do all that. So you kind of take all that away so that they can enjoy their launch and enjoy connecting to because the best part of a launch is connecting to the potential clients and the audience. And that gives us, that gives people space to do that instead of the back end admin stuff that takes up so much time.
Yeah, it gives you the peace of mind that everything is being taken care of and that your audience is being primed and that they're getting the promotions in a timely manner and they're getting the opportunity to learn more, get those frequently asked questions answered. And then you get to spend your time showing up and authentically connecting with them, which is, as you said, like that's the best part of launching is getting to meet all these amazing people who kind of, fall into your lap and being able to nurture those relationships. So I think that is definitely the win in this scenario.
Love it. I love it. And where can people find you and follow you?
Yeah, so if they are watching the replay, they can follow me at Breanna's Business Boutique. That is my Instagram handle. And you can also send me an email at hello@breannajoy.com. As mentioned, if you want to take advantage of the Black Friday or the podcast little coupon that I put together, definitely feel free to send me a message and I can get you those details.
Perfect. I love it.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited, just to stay connected and follow along and help you, when you're launching and feeling like the fear and the overwhelm has taken over. It's just having accountability and having people to connect with that have understood and who have gone through the same thing is like that's like a priceless thing to have as an online business owner. So get yourself some online business friends.
Yes, absolutely. Accountability and support.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for this fantastic conversation. All right, y'all. Have a good day.
Hi there! If you're ready to be the woman that has all she desires, if you want to become untethered to the fears and limiting beliefs holding you back from taking action and showing up in your business, if you find yourself caught in a spiral of negative thoughts taking up valuable time and energy, thoughts such as, I'm not good enough, my family won't approve, what if no one buys, I'm not worthy enough, what if I raise my prices and no one joins my programs, I don't know enough. What if I fail? Maybe success isn't meant for me. Or any other limiting belief or fear, then Breakthrough is perfect for you. Breakthrough is a 2-week one-on-one coaching experience with me, where we dive into identifying and working through all that is keeping you from your next level breakthrough in your business. This is where we rewire your thoughts so you embody the beliefs, the thoughts, and the actions that'll bring you to your next level success and dream. Breakthrough includes one 90-minute call with me, plus 2 weeks of Voxer app coaching where you have access to me each day during the 2 weeks for coaching and support. So if you're ready for your next level breakthrough, click the link in the podcast description and let's get started.